Perfect, perfect. Good. Yep, cool. We're all set. All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. We out here once again. We're going to get right into it. All right, as you can see in the title, everything is moving fast. All right, everything is moving fast. As you can already see, with being what, about a month, not even a month, a couple of weeks, a week and some change of this guy Trump being in office, and he's already doing a lot. You know, he's like that fourth leg in a relay race. And freaking what's that Jamaica versus the U.S. And you hand him the baton, and he's coming in full speed. He ain't even slowing down at all. He's just going full speed ahead, and he's only speeding up more and more and more and more. All right, and that's basically the reason they put him in there because think of it. Going back to the example I just gave about the race, you can think of it like if the third leg came in with full speed momentum to sort of boost on this last guy, and that's what this guy Biden did. Biden was put in there because they could hide behind the excuse of him being incompetent. They could hide behind the excuse of him having controllers. They could hide behind the excuse of saying, "Oh, he's old, so he's not reasoning right, and that's why these bad decisions are being made." Instead of, yeah, this is all deliberate, because when you destroy the country to that point, you could even freaking say you want to bring one of the worst people in history, and they'll say, yeah, look, if you can fix the country, bring him in. A prime example is the movie Suicide Squad. You know, the reason they went and got, which I didn't watch the whole movie, but the one where they went and got the dude Deathshot, and then the black lady came there and she was like, you know, basically come and help us, basically. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen any of them, but I've seen that scene and I've been able to deduce that information. Now, these guys in the Suicide Squad were, I don't know what level they were on, but I would assume they were like criminals, or they were put in a position where they were like, these guys are dangerous, lock them up and keep them away from society. So how is it then that you're going to people that you're like, these guys are so bad, lock them up and keep them away from society, because the problem was so bad, you needed them to come and fix it. And you were willing to overlook the ill nature of them in order to fix that problem. So that's the tactic they used with Biden. They basically, metaphorically, laid the red carpet, rolled the red carpet out for Trump by having Biden come in there and be so terrible, put the world in such a bad position that people are like, yo, Trump looks good. You know what I'm saying? Like, bring him up in here. Let me tell you something, all right? Let me give you an example. Let me give you a couple more examples. If you have a child, right, that does not like vegetables, and you're like, look, I made some asparagus, and they're like, I hate asparagus. That's the worst. The Brussels sprouts, asparagus, I'm not eating that shit, right? And then you give them 2-3 days of no food, and then you bring a plate of Brussels sprouts and asparagus, and another plate of hot shit out of a pig's ass, and you put it right there next to him, and you say, which one you gonna eat now? All of a sudden, the asparagus don't look too bad. The asparagus looking pretty good, actually. It might be his favorite vegetable now, because obviously he gonna look at the shit like, all right, if these are my two options, this is making asparagus look real good. So that's basically what they did. They fed the American people fresh manure, out of a pig's ass for 4 years, and it just got worse. It got hotter and hotter, and now they're like, look, let's bring Trump up in there, and he's gonna clean it up. He's gonna fix it up nice for you. As he said, we'll fix it so good you won't have to do this no more. You know. So this guy got a lot of tricks up his sleeve, so to speak, and get ready to see it. Because what does he have to lose now? It's his second term, which if he decides to go the full route of a dictator, then it might not be his second term. It might just be just an ongoing term for him. But what's he got to lose? He doesn't got to worry about getting reelected and anything. So this guy's out here. Anyway, what y'all got? Hey, Glasser?
Yeah, Khan, I was going to say in Shalom, Yabashim Shabrak, to you brothers,
Shalom.
um, that
Ah,
the whole Trump situation right now, it reminds me very much of how Alexander came into power. He came in and he was working swiftly. You know, it says in the book of First Maccabees that he was basically he moved so fast that his foot didn't even touch the ground, like parabolically speaking, in the sense that he was moving so quickly, right, conquering nations, and that's the kind of tactics that Trump is trying to use, right? Like you said, how he came in, and within the first week or so, he's signing all these executive orders, and that's because these executive orders will play a huge role in the next coming months and into the next year or so, right? So before people get alarmed with what kind of hell they're about to start catching because of all these things being signed, they have to do it very early during his so-called honeymoon stage, where everyone is still happy, everyone is still high of the juice of, oh, Trump is coming in to change everything, a new American dawn of the age or whatever bullshit that they're talking about, right? And it turns out that America is going to be turning 250 next year, so-called 2026.
hmm.
And with this guy in so-called power. I believe it was last week or the week before, they made the eagle the official bird of the United States. I mean, we've always known that it is the eagle because they put it all out there, but that was to let you know that they are the Romans and the Greeks coming back. You know, so the same mindset that the Greeks and the Romans had, America has the same exact mindset. Okay, because those same rulers back then are the same rulers here again today, and we believe that Trump is Nero Caesar. Okay, but he has tendencies that's bringing in the spirit of that pan Hellenistic world, so to speak, and now the whole one world agenda being head speared by America, Babylon the Great, as is written in the scriptures. You know, the boy that sitteth on many waters. So for them in their minds, they have to rule everything. It has to go through them. This whole AI race between them and China, again, is just a facade, right? But ultimately, we see that the spirit that they coming in with, right? We're gonna do it at all costs, even if it's gonna destroy us. We're still gonna be the number one country to do it. You know, so that's that pride. You know what happened to Alexander? He ruled for only 12 years, and then he died. You see, he got ill, and then he died. So with all that strength, all that power, all that war savvy tactics that he had, right? The man ruled for only 12 years. Okay, you would think that with all that energy, he's trying to rule for eternity, and that's what these devils are. They have the same mindset. And in the book of Job, it says that what when he's about to fill his belly, right, the Most High is going to strike him too. You know, so that's the times that we're in, man. They building quickly. Everything is happening quickly pertaining to Revelation 12 and 12. Okay, the midnight, what's that? The doomsday clock. They said it shifted to 99 seconds to midnight. I think. All right, that was last week or a few days ago. They said that, you know. So even that, nobody really understands how that whole doomsday clock shit works, right? But even that is also symbolic. Remember, you're hearing the word doom, right? Doomsday, doomsday, doomsday. In other words, judgment. Spirit is coming down heavy upon these people, man. You know. But yeah, I just want to bring that out real quick. The similarity between Trump and the ancient Greek rulers and stuff. You got it, bro.
That's right. That's right. And to your point, these elites, the hidden hand, so to speak, they understand reincarnation because when you look at how they plan their whole dominance, this goes back centuries. All right, and it wasn't like they weren't there saying who was it? I forgot who it was exactly. I think it was Mayor Amschel Bauer when he gathered his sons together and then gave him the plan to say, look, you all go to different parts of the world and then infiltrate them through the money system. He didn't say the military. He didn't say this, that. He said start with the finances, the money, you know, dealing with people's money and so on and so forth. But the point being, he knew, and they did as well, that their plan is not going to be something that's going to be in their own lifetime per se. So they plan thoroughly ahead, decades down the line, this decade, knowing that they might not be alive at that point, but they understood that they would come back. And so they set themselves up to come back into a profitable situation for them. All right. Because they understand, being that they deal with spirits on the left hand side, they understand to some degree the concept. They just are on the left hand side of it. So we can get into that in Isaiah 14. 13. Because as we said, things are moving fast, and before you know it, and that's how the Lord moves. Sometimes the Lord moves so fast, doing big things that it seems surreal, and then you got to think back, like, yo, did that really just happen? Because it comes out of nowhere, it's unexpected, and then it's so fast. Like when the Apostle Peter got delivered from prison, at the end he said that he thought it was like a vision or a dream that he saw. How 1 second you're in a position where you're like, how the hell am I going to get out of this? I'm literally shackled up to centurions next to me, sleeping, and then there's an angel that wakes me up, and then boom, next thing you know, I'm out of here. It felt like so surreal. Like, yo, is this really happening right now? Anyway, let's get into that. And that's how it's going to be when they bring out the sea hip. It's going to be like, yo, we've been talking about it, and boom. Similar to how when Yahushua came on the scene. See, the thing about humans is you always over expect. You imagine a situation and then expect the real life to play out like that. But that's not how the Most High works. He has planned how it's going to play out. So, just like when Yahushua came on the scene, they expected some grand appearance. They expected some magical feat. Saying touching somebody and saying be healed wasn't good enough. No. The skies had to go dark. You know what I'm saying? He had to levitate the person up into the air. You had to do some Doctor Strange type shit, and then put like a little circle spell close to the guy, and then touch him and scrape his chin a bit, and then tell him be healed. And then the guy's gonna like power up and shit. That's what they want to see when they think of miracles. Okay, now he's a real prophet. All he did was, yo, you good? Let's go. What did the Apostle Peter do? He said, rise up and walk. And dude got up. That's it. Because the power is not in the theatrics; it's in the actual things that are happening. And I say that to say that, we talk about the MOTB, we talk about these prophecies. You're gonna talk about them and talk about them and talk about them, and all of a sudden, one day, boom, it's just gonna be there. It's gonna happen. It's gonna manifest, and it's gonna be like, yo, that's it. Like, we're here. Like we were expect, like, we've been talking about them for so long, and now it's right in front of us. It almost just walked up to you, like, yo, what's up? Let's go, let's get it. And you're like, oh shit, like, this is a big deal, but it's just here, and people have it, and it seems like the world doesn't recognize the magnitude of what is actually happening, but we will. When we see people walking around with the sea hip, going and getting it, it's gonna be like soon enough. It's gonna be like applying for a new credit card, or going to get your ID at the DMV, because similar to how they did with the jump shot, they made it seem like it's a trivial matter that you're just over stressing about. You're doing too much. Relax. That's basically what they made it seem. And when they come with MOTB, with how they're gonna advance technology and all these things, look, we live in an age where technology is advancing so fast, it's hard to really see it. Remember, once upon a time, people were using flip phones. People were using what's that thing called? BlackBerry, Blueberry, whatever that thing, right? Once upon a time, that was an advanced form of technology. You like, oh, you got the new oh shit, yo, you could text on that. They had the pocket PC. I remember that. It would slide up, and then you got the keyboard, and you're like, oh shit, yo, that's mad advanced. Then the first like iPhone-ish thing came out, touchscreen. Oh, what's that? Now you got freaking AI and all this stuff. You got Alexa, but it doesn't seem so advanced to you anymore, because you just see it incrementally going. But technology is advanced super fast. So when they bring that MOTB out, and it starts to look like, oh, somebody just gonna go get I'm just applying for a new credit card type joint, and then they come home, oh yeah, I got it. We gonna be like, yo, you wanna get that MOTB? And they're gonna be like, yeah, bro, like, what's the big deal? Like, it's just another way of life.
God, I got a quick precept to back you up on
come on with it.
How quick and sudden is all going to happen, right? It's the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 12. It says, for man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them, right? So that snare is being set right now as we speak. Through the advancements of AI, as is written in the book of Daniel, the 12th chapter, that knowledge shall increase. Right? When you go into that word knowledge, it goes into the word to know, right? Ciencia, which is where you get the word science from. Okay, but this science we're talking really more about the PSY science. It's all psychological, So Esau is setting up the plan, like you mentioned, how you know, they tied everything in to the digital version of life, right, so to speak, right, because it's really not life. But so nowadays you could use your phone as a credit card, right, because you have your credit card information on there. But if even taking it a step further, that's even old technology, you know, thinking about it, because now you can have your fingerprints stored on a database, and then you go to a store like Amazon One and so on and so forth, and they specifically say to wave your hand over a scanner. All right. So that's the first step right there. When the scriptures is telling you that the MOTB is going to be, what John saw was mostly people using their right hand or their forehead, meaning your metapon, the so-called brain C hip. Okay. So they're going to tie everything in. And if you notice, most of the people who are in front of or behind this technology, they're all tied to some form of social media platform, right? Neuralink and Meta, right? They're all tied to some form of social media. And social media now is how people live their real lives, right? So it's easy for them to tie it in. And we've seen it through Black Mirror, right? Where they show you how you could be able to have your social media account where you could just pop in and you just open your eyes and your whole screen, your eyes could turn your whole, anywhere you are, it could turn to a screen, and then you could just use your brain to pick whichever app you want to use, you know? So you could literally be on social media in your head. That's how they're going to be pushing these things out there, man, because it's attractive, right? It's cool, you know, like, damn, I got to have a phone on me. Like, I could be on the plane, just chilling, going to work, and then I'm out here glancing through social media in my head, you know? I could click on a button in my head. I could just literally think it and then go to the app that I'm looking for. Somebody may ask me a question, I could think the question out, and then Google's going to download the answer into my head and I can give you an answer. You know how smart that is, you know? So they're pushing it as a going back to witchcraft, right? They're pushing it as a form of technological advancement. If you're tied, or if you as a human being are kind of meshed with robotics, right? It puts you on a superhuman intelligent level, you know? And people are gonna fall for this type of shit, man. Little do they know that those who are giving you this technology have complete control over you. You know, that's what Elon Musk said. Yeah, we're putting a brain chip in your head so we can control you. Like, oh shit, okay, cool. You know? So that's where it's all leading to. And they're gonna tie it into those who don't want to really get into it. You're gonna be forced into it. Why? Because it's tied to your money, to how you're gonna buy and sell, how you're gonna be able to take care of your family, your kids, your health, all these different things that they're gonna start pushing and changing. You know, if you don't go along with the change, then you're gonna be left out. And woe unto you if you're left out, because they know exactly where to take you. Trump just said it, Guantanamo Bay. Okay? Forget about Alaska. I'm here thinking Alaska. Nah, he said Guantanamo. All right? That should tell you all you need to know, man. It kind of reminds you of what they did to John on the Isle of Patmos. You're going to be exiled. You know, you don't have a place in this society, this new world, technologically advanced society. We're going to take you to a different prison altogether. We don't even want you here. And Trump said it. He said, that's a tough place to get out of. He said that. See? So that should tell you what mindset they're coming in and what kind of spirit they're coming in with, man. You know? But you got it, bro.
Yeah.
Brother Aharon's point when he was talking about you know, about the pretty much the C hip and things like that. If you listen to Yuval Noah Harari, he said amongst the lines that whoever controls the data controls pretty much everything. So what? They're gonna have all your data, everything about you stored there. That's why he was also talking about pretty much, which is very funny because when you post that video in the chat about him talking about AI being dangerous, this is the same individual that was talking about how, you know, it'll be able to help in the medical field, the doctors and things like that will be more proficient, more accessible. But now all of a sudden you want to say it's dangerous? It's like, shut up. But basically he said something. I remember the video. I don't know the name of it, but I remember it was like the background was like bluish. And I remember him saying that whoever controls the data controls pretty much, you know, everything. So them having like that's what he said that made me think about it. Because pretty much when he said when Aharon said about how they're gonna be able to control you, that's how they're gonna be able to control you, is to having all this data and everything on you. Them having control of the data, having control of everything is going to be able to have them basically going into how Sloppy, I'm getting the word on. Basically how they'll be able to like ration food to you, like, hey, you won't be able to get this, you'll be able to get a portion of things like this. This all ties into other things like the 15-minute cities and all that type of stuff, which I like to call like a 15-minute pretty much a region and things like that. Like if you watch the Hunger Games movie with that, I think they had like
Districts.
how many districts was it?
10 or 12, somewhere.
10 or 12? I can't, it's been a while, but I remember 10. Right, and in that, you had a bunch of people, or like few people in there, and this was your part and all that. You can't go anywhere. The only way you could go somewhere else is if I'm not mistaken, it's like you gotta let it be known, hey, I want to go to districts. Or I think they had to like sneak or something like that.
Yeah.
So this is all forms of control. It's made to seem convenient, like the technology is made to seem convenient, but really all it's doing is having control over you, and they're gathering data. That's why whatever you search up on your phone, why do you think a little while after you'll see certain things like, well, you may have searched something up, like, oh, like me, I like incense and things like that. For a couple of minutes, like, oh, like this says it, well, this our company supplies these type of incense. Like, I went to Amazon, nigga. Like, all of a sudden, you show me another website. Like, what is this? But that's how they're gathering the data on you.
Get that in Isaiah 13. So it's a dangerous thing, but you have to imagine it. Real life is always different, right? Like when you think about how they might throw you in a C camp, but you never really. I mean, if you do, then that even better. But sometimes you never really think in the details of, yo, that sea camp might be on a remote island somewhere. It might not be on the actual land of the U.S. It might be somewhere else. You never know. Okay. So, and in actuality, what does it look like? Maybe being blindfolded and having your hands tied and you in the back of somewhere. You feel the movement of the car, but you don't know or hear where you're going. Like all that is going to be a part of the intensity of having your faith tried and tested. Now imagine being in a back of a truck with a bunch of other individuals, some you don't know, some who claim to be in the truth, and all of a sudden you just hear some people bugging out after a couple of hours. I can't do this shit no more. Let me out. I'll take it. Give me the shit. And then others, oh man, yo, chill. I'll take it too, man. Shit, I got a family, yo. And you hearing this shit, you like, yo, that sound like the such and such. I thought this person was in it. Nah. And because that's what makes it harder when you see people folding around you. So all these things are part of it, but it's a test. It's a test of your faith. You got it.
This is Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 1. The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see.
Right, the burden of Babylon, and the modern day Babylon is America. Okay, and Isaiah saw it, meaning he saw what was going to be considered a burden upon Babylon. It was going to come upon Babylon. Go ahead.
Verse 2. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Exalt the voice unto them.
Mm-hmm.
Shake the hand.
And that's what we're doing now. Okay, we are the ones that are lifting up the high banner, and the banner represents basically who you are for. So the banner that we're lifting up is the scriptures, the words of the scriptures by coming out here. So a physical manifestation would be like the different camps all around the world. It's making the banner or the scriptures visible to everybody to see. Okay, and as it says, lift you up a high banner upon the high mountain, and what?
I'll read it again. Mm-hmm. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. Mm-hmm. Exalt the voice unto them.
Right, exalt the voice unto them, and that's what we're doing. Right, the Lord said He made us a prophet unto the nations. Well, we speak onto Israelites and onto non-Israelites, right? Because we're speaking to everybody. Go ahead. And that's why it says that they shall never hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silence. Now, it doesn't mean you got to always talk. No, it's talking about collectively. If He's doing lessons or speaking consistently, and I'm speaking consistently, and somebody else in a different country and state is speaking consistently, then from the outside looking in, it looks like we're always speaking. If He speaks when I'm asleep, I speak when he's asleep. We're always speaking. Like when you have security, there's always somebody on post. It's not always you, and it's not always you, but for the company, it's always somebody there.
What is that? Psalm 19. Day or night, day and night. They
utter speech. They show of knowledge. Yep.
Hey, I got a quick point to make as well. The banner is almost like you know how going back to ancient times before we went to war, right? The Lord would have the Levites carry the Ark of the Covenant. That'll be, I believe, in the front. And as we're going, we'll be behind it, chanting the name of the Lord and praising the Lord and so on and so forth. So the banner is pretty much this truth that we're pushing, right? And then we're the heralds, right? The prophets, all the men that you see out there. And the standard is the scriptures and the word being put out there. Now, when you go into the word banner in the online etymology dictionary, It says it says piece of cloth attached to the upper end of a pole or staff, right? And then it also reminds you of what happened when the Lord told us to walk around the city of Jericho, all right, once for 7 days, and on the seventh day we had to go around it 7 times, and the whole wall collapsed, right? So that same spirit is what we're coming in with, right? We're heralding this time. It's not going to be just going around Jericho 7 times. This time we're heralding the downfall of Babylon the Great by the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, when his son makes his return with his angels, the thousands of heaven, as it says, right, the heavenly hosts, okay, that's when you're going to see this place taken down easily. Within 1 hour, this place is going to be out of here, right? It says a flag or a standard, right? When you go down a little bit, right, it says what? Identifying sign. Okay, so the truth and the spirit in which we're coming in tells you or shows you what kind of identity we have, right? Whose name are we coming in and what do we stand for, right? All these things we talk about, okay? When people hear Hebrew Israelites, they know exactly what they're going to be getting, okay? It says, formerly the standard of a king, lord, or knight, behind which his followers marched to war and to which they rallied in battle, okay? So that's exactly what we're doing, right? Does not the scripture say that the weapons of our warfare are not carnal but spiritual? Does not the scripture talk about us being in a spiritual war, breaking down strongholds? Right, that's all part of war. Does not the Apostle Paul say to gird ourselves with the armor of the truth of the Most High? Right. It says in the figurative sense of anything displayed as a profession of principles. Isn't that what the scripture is all about? It's filled with a book of principles, and we profess those principles. Okay, so we are the heralds. We are really the banner or the standard banner. Those who bear the standard, those who hold on to that standard slash banner slash pole to show some form of recognition of who we are. Okay, so it all ties in, man, and is also ultimately going towards war, right? Rallying the battle or the host for war. You know, so we're really battling and bringing down this place, even with the heavenly host, man. So what we're doing is also in sync with what's happening in heaven, on earth as it is in heaven. You know, hey man, that's crazy, but you got it, bro.
Right, good point. Oh, so you can bring that up because you mentioned that. That's it. You mentioned that about the Ark of the Covenant. So we want to bring out an instance in the scriptures to back you up.
This is 1 Samuel chapter 4, verse 1. And the word of Samuel came unto all Israel. Now Israel went out against the Philistines to battle.
Yeah, because we were always going back and forth. You know, get that guess. Yeah, we were always going back and forth with the Philistines. You know, to and back and forth. So hold on, bro. You know, because of the land, right? They had some parts of the territory. Sometimes we take it over. Sometimes they come back up in there. You know, and so on and so forth. Go ahead.
Went out against the Philistines to battle and pitched beside Ebenezer, and the Philistines pitched in Aphek.
So basically, you had the Israelites set up camp in one area, and then the Philistines in another area. Go ahead.
And the Philistines put themselves in array against Israel, and when they joined battle, Israel was smitten before the Philistines.
So we got our ass beat for that first face off. Okay, go ahead.
And they slew of the army in the field about 4,000 men. And when the people were come into the camp, the elders of Israel said, wherefore hath the Lord smitten us today before the Philistines?
Right. So they engaged in the war, right? They got cooked, and then they retreated back to the camp, to the retreat point. Okay. Go ahead. So when they came back, then the elders were like, yo, what's going on? Because usually when we go to war, see, the thing is, for us, it's always been a special case. When I say us, I mean the nation of Israel has always been a special case, because going to war was like having the Infinity Gauntlet. You know, like we knew that we always had an advantage whenever we would go to war because we had the Lord on our side. So when we went to war, it wasn't a matter of like how trained your soldiers are and everybody's on point and it's uncertain, you know, and we're going to go do our best. It was like, yo, we got the Lord with us and the Lord's going to cook their ass. We just got to pull up as the army, you know, let the Lord do the work. So that's why when Israelites were getting beaten, you know, and killed, the elders are like, yo, what's going on? Why is the Lord having us, take this massive L right now?
Okay. Just a quick precept just to back up what you were just saying. Psalm 60 and 9, it says, who will lead me? I'm sorry. Who will bring me into the strong city? Who will lead me into Edom? Actually, I'll read 10 as well. It says, will not thou, O God, which hadst cast us off, and thou, O God, which didst not go out with our armies, give us help from trouble, for vain is the help vain is the help of man. Through God we shall do valiantly, for it is he that shall tread down our enemies. Just to get back up your point, that's why when I read it, they said, why is the Heavenly Father sitting in this? It's not the Philistines, it's the Heavenly Father that's not with us. Our people understood that, like the brother was saying, if the Heavenly Father is with us, we ain't got nothing to worry about.
That's right.
Yes, yep. Verse 3, and when the people were come into the camp, the elders of Israel said, wherefore hath the Lord smitten us today before the Philistines? Let us fetch the ark of the covenant of the Lord out of Shiloh unto us.
Yep. So they said, look, we gotta go get our banner. Because if we don't get our banner, we gonna keep getting cooked, because the Ark of the Covenant represented like the presence of the Lord being with us. So they said, look, go get the Ark of the Covenant and bring it here, and we're gonna have that extra protection, because this is unacceptable. Right?
When it cometh among us, it may save us out of the hands of our enemies.
Yeah, that's like the secret weapon right there. Go ahead.
So the people sent to Shiloh that they might bring from thence the ark of the covenant of the Lord of hosts, which dwelt between the cherubims, and the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were with the ark of the covenant of God.
Yep. And so, when you watch shows like Game of Thrones, right? Not the new one, but the old one, the original one, you see these kinds of examples, and you get to visualize it better, right? Now there's a season in the early seasons. You had, I think, one of the eldest brothers. His name was Rob, if I'm not mistaken, and he was basically going to war, right? And you would notice how they would set up tents. They would actually set up tents. The tents weren't like small camping tents. They were like super big tents, and then you would have the men, some by the fire, some eating, they would be serving food and all that. And then they would be strategizing. All right, where do we go? Where we hit them here? Should we hit them here? Blah, blah, blah. And then they would move forward. And then when it was time for war, they would either surround the city, or they would go and meet on the battlefield and go to war. But after the day was over, or the other side got cooked, where would they retreat back to? So now you get a visual that in the meantime, when they sent to go get the ark, where were they? Were they all just standing there on the field, just looking at each other and shit? Waiting like NPCs? No. They had a place a camp where they would be. And then they would, go and get the stuff, in this case, the Ark of the Covenant, and then bring it back. So it actually is pretty helpful to watch some of these like shows to get visuals, even like shows about ancient Rome, to get visuals of, okay, when you read the scriptures, this is how things happen in the ancient world. So even though it's showing the Romans, you get a visual of like, generally, how does an army, survive on a battlefield? How are wars engaged in, and when they retreat, what do the camps look like? When they lay siege to a city, what does that actually look like? How do they actually scale the walls of a city and then invade the city? You watch these shows and these movies, you get a visual, so when you read the scriptures, it makes more sense to you. Right? Oh, you got something?
Yeah, I just wanted to point out how the banner represents like your identity. Like when armies march to battle, and carrying that flag, that banner, and it's like what we representing.
Right.
We representing this truth. So the scriptures is like identity as far as us as a people. So when we lift up that banner, we come into battle bringing scriptures, which represents Israel. The the Bible has all nations inside of it, but it's pretty much the book of the Israelites.
Right. Right. Right.
Verse 5, and when the ark of the covenant of the Lord came into the camp, All Israel shouted with a great shout.
Right. So that was our banner. You know, that was like that is who we represent. You know, we represent the Lord, and we're proud to lift this up. You know, like we're drawing a connection here, right, between the ark and you know, the representation of the Lord. Okay. Now, in the modern day sense, the banner we're lifting up is the scriptures. Okay. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All Israel shouted with a great shout, so that the earth rang again.
Mhm.
And when the Philistines heard the noise of the shout,
So, what's an example? The earth rang again. If you've ever been to a soccer game, if you ever been to a soccer game, not a like you know, your nephew's soccer game, you know, and so no, like an actual real soccer game at a stadium. If you've ever been there, you know, you hear the chanting, right? Sometimes it's like penalty time, or there's a home game or an away game. You hear the chanting of the fans, and how when they all chant together with one voice, it sounds louder, and you can probably hear it from a couple of blocks down the street. You know, you know, or even if they're if you're passing by a concert, if you're passing by and there's a concert going on, you're gonna hear this loud sound, you know, that you're not really sure. You can't really make out the words, but you hear some sound that's very loud. And the closer you get to it, you hear that, oh, this is the sound of a multitude, right? Well, similarly, when they shouted and the earth rang, you can imagine the Philistines hearing that collective unified voice together, and they're like, all right, something is going on here. Because we just beat them. We just slew like 4,000 of their people. And yet they're shouting, what's going on?
verse 6, and when the Philistines heard the noise of the shout, they said, what meaneth the noise of this great shout in the camp of the Hebrews?
Yeah, what's going on? You know?
And they understood that the ark of the Lord was come into the camp.
Right. They understood that the ark of the Lord was coming to the camp. So, what does that mean? How did they understand that the ark of the Lord was coming to the camp? Did they all just stand there? One of them says, what meaneth this shout in the Hebrews camp? Oh, they got the ark of the covenant. No. Some information had to travel, or some reasoning had to go on over there. You know, they had to counsel, say, yo, what, you know, with their amongst their generals, you got to think amongst themselves, we just beat them. Why are they shouting and chanting with like this motivation? You know, then one of them says, oh man, you know, I mean, you know that the God they serve, you know, they must have went and probably got like the ark or something there to boost them up or something. So that's how they understood that. Either that, or maybe they got some information. You know, yo, I saw some of their people fleeing back there, and then they came back with something. Oh, it must be the ark. You know, so when you read the scriptures, you have to think about it in a practical sense. It's not like magic. You know, they sat there and said it, and all of a sudden, boom, the understanding just came up into their heads. That's not how it works. Right?
Verse 7, and the Philistines were afraid, for they said, God is come into the camp. And they said, woe unto us, for there had not been such a thing heretofore.
So there you go. You know, when the ark came in and that energy was revamped, they were afraid because they already knew. They said, no. The power that's come amongst them, we don't even want to go, because now we're not fighting against men. We're fighting against a power. We're fighting against a God. And we know how that goes, right? The Egyptians were, they experienced it firsthand. And we heard about it secondhand. And we don't want to experience it third hand or first hand again. But hey, that was it on that point.
No, it's not.
Oh, there's more? Okay.
Verse 8, woe unto us, who shall deliver us out of the hand of these mighty gods?
Ooh.
These are the gods, these are the gods that smote the Egyptians with all the plagues in the wilderness.
So there you go. So I literally just said that, right? They knew, and they knew about that history of what the Most High did on behalf of Israel, going back to Egypt. So when they found out that same power is now with them, they knew, okay, yeah, it's over, because it's an unfair battle, So now they crying for mercy. And that's the same thing that's going to happen now. As we lift up this banner, as the Spirit of the Lord comes, the Lord said, Isaiah 40 or 39, it talks about, blessed are they, I got you, who wait upon the Lord, they're going to have their strength renewed. Yeah, Isaiah 40. That's it. You got it. And then we could go into Isaiah 13.
Con, a perfect precept to back you guys up is Revelation 11 verse 11, it says, and after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet. All right, that's going into bearing the standard. You got to stand up. You're not going to be sitting down while you're holding the banner. Right? It's an action, right? It says, and they stood upon their feet, going to show you that it's not of us, it's the Heavenly Father's Spirit that gave us the ability to do these things, right? Because ultimately we're doing work for Him, right? It says, and great fear fell upon them which saw them, right? So great fear, going back to what we just read about what happened with the Philistines, right? When they saw Israel stand up with the Ark of the Covenant and chanting the name of the Lord, great fear fell upon them to the point where they said, oh no, we don't want no parts of this. You see, it's the same thing, but that's why Esau is pushing for the advancements of AI as a way to defend himself against us and Yahushua when he comes back. But little did he know that the Lord already gave you the blueprint to create your own destruction, you dumbass nigga. And that's just what it is. You got it, bro.
Yeah, got it. And you can see a couple of years ago there was talk about super soldiers, and I think they mentioned France. France was coming up with some, and some other countries were coming up with super soldiers. And with the talk of AI, it reminds me of a DC character known as Blue Beetle. And Blue Beetle, basically the situation with him was that you had this technology known as a scarab, and it was like a actual beetle, but it was a tech beetle. And so basically what it did was it ended up, attaching itself to him. And usually it's kind of like the DC version of Venom in a way, where the beetle is like the symbiote. So basically the job was to attach to the host and take over the brain of the host and then control it. But with Blue Beetle, it didn't work that way. I guess they synchronized or whatever. So he still maintained control over that beetle, but it ended up attaching to like his back, his what's that thing called? His spinal cord or whatever, but a certain part in there and merged with him. And so it basically turned him into this, you could say like like what we would call like a super soldier. Because now with that technology, he was able to fly, he was able to, transform and get this whole suit, and his hands could like morph into freaking like cannons or scythes or whatever from that technology. So like you were saying, Haran, they're trying to extend human capabilities, but in order to do that, they have to take you past the level of being a human. This is the way they attain, or they go beyond the bare mortal and make you extraterrestrial in a way, but via technology. And you mentioned that the whole concept of being able to go to social media in your mind. I forgot who it was. Maybe it was WEF, but they came out with a commercial, a trailer, and in the trailer they explicitly said it out of their mouth. They said, number one, the concept of humans is going to cease to exist. There's not going to be any form of humans in the purest form. Everybody's going to have some level or type of augmentation to them, and you may say, I don't think that's the case. I'm not going to do that. But maybe the next time you get diabetes and they're like, look, instead of cutting off your leg, we're going to put this nanotech inside of you and it's going to heal you. There was an anime like that where it's called God of High School. And basically it's like a tournament where people come with different abilities and they fight each other. And in order to make them give them the ability to fight to their fullest, they injected this like nanoparticles inside of them, and the nanoparticles heal them. So you can fight and fight and fight. You can knock somebody's eyeball out, and it's okay because the tech inside of them is going to be able to heal them anyway. So they might tell you, look, your daughter is born with some sickle cell or some dangerous thing. The only way to get deep inside of her without operations is to put that nanotech in there, and she's going to be all good. Guess what? Now all of a sudden they've been augmented, But the point is, they said in the video, in the trailer, that in order to ensure safety for people, they're going to need to invade your mind, into your mental space, to make sure that it's a safe space for you. So you got to let them into your mind so they can ensure that your mind is safe. And after they've ensured that, then you're all good. So you can't hide from them physically and you can't hide from them mentally. They want to be everywhere. That's basically what they said. And that's where that technology is leading to. So with those super soldiers, you can imagine some form of imagine them embedding AI into a micro C-hip that's inside of your mind, a BCI, where now it's talking to you in your head. You know, you're there. Oh, Gemini. Yeah, like Blue Beetle. Yeah. You know, like, hey, Gemini, what do I do here? And then it's literally talking to you back and forth inside of your mind. You know, oh, that looks like it's this. You should probably do that. Like if you've ever seen Iron Man, the AI he had, Jarvis, it was in his suit. But in this case, they're gonna put it inside of your head, embedded inside of that C-hip, that implant over there. And then that can enforce that whole super soldier mechanism, you know, where they replace parts of your body with tech or mech or whatever the case is. And now all of a sudden, this guy's freaking jumping on buildings and shit, seeing through walls. Got it.
Yeah, there was a movie, I forgot the name, but it was on Netflix where there was this guy and his wife. They were driving. Well, the car was driving. The car was on autopilot, and then all of a sudden they got basically attacked by some super soldiers. And one of the guys, because they had like weapons and tech inside the whole bodies and stuff. And then one of the guys, they killed the wife, and they crippled the man. They cut something in his spinal cord or something like that. And then later on, the guy repaired one of this famous creator's car, and then the owner of the car came to the guy and basically sold him a chip to put in his brain, and then it basically it healed him. Like he was able to move. He wasn't paralyzed, waist down anymore. Okay. Okay. Water. And then later down the line, he started hearing voices in his head. He was like, "What the fuck? Am I going crazy?" And then so basically the AI from the chip um from the C hip later down the line it made the guy lose his mind and allowed him to break, and it had full control over the guy's body.
That's crazy. You know, but that's where we at. That's where we at with it.
Hey, I think there was a video that one of the brothers posted sometime last week, and it was somebody who had a dream, some dude in the world, some look like Edomite guy, and he said in his dream he met some dude that promised him like, "Yo, I could take your business to a whole nother level, whatever." He said the only thing you have to do is just basically connect to this tech thing here, and now I'll be able to control things from my end, and we're gonna send you on a whole nother level where we're gonna do the work, and you will have to do nothing, but you get all the results that you're working for. So that was, that's like, damn, like I own my own business, but I don't got to do shit. And you just going to take control and do everything that I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm going to get all the revenue back. Oh shit, hell yeah, I'm going to do that. That's very appeasing. That's very enticing, right? Kind of like what the serpent told you, right? You be like God, right? So he's like, oh shit, I'm going to be that powerful and make all that money. Oh yeah, let's try it. And then he did it. And as soon as he gave the guy the access, now he's like, okay, well, I'm good now. I've seen what this is about and all that, but I like to step away from it now. The guy said, nah, I'm sorry, bro. Once you give that access, you ain't getting it back. It's over with. I wanted the access from day one, but I had to make sure that you give me the access. I can't just come in and take it from you. You see? So I have to set up a stage where you are enticed. That's where the temptation comes in, right? When you go to the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter, it talks about them. They were deceived, them that received the MOTB. When you go to that word receive, it goes to the Greek word didomai, which means to give a way onto something to be administered onto you, right? And that's what Esau is looking for. So everything that's going on now, they're setting a stage to get people to want to give them that access, right? Remember when the jump shot came out, they didn't physically go tie people down and grab them and start putting them in their arms. What they did was they used strong, agitative propaganda and coercion tactics. And that's exactly what you're going to be seeing soon. But this time it's going to feel like if you don't do it, you're going to die. That's the only choice. You see? And then that's all an illusion, mind you, but it's still strong enough to deceive people who are unaware of what's going on, at least the end goal, they're going to end up taking it. You see? Because it's already prophecy. See? It's prophecy. So we're going to see people that we know personally that going to come in and they going to have the C-hip just like they did the J shot, man. They took that shot, and then, hey, it was all like, now everybody's like, oh, we're going back to normal. No, nigga, if you took it, listen, your life is never going to go back to normal, okay? Because you've given the devil access to you. Now he has you in his possession. That's why Noah Harari said humans have become hackable creatures, man. Hackable creatures. So they're already inside your body. It's just a matter of time. They already got the mind with data mining with AI and social media and all that. So they know how people think. They know what kind of patterns, what trends and so on and so forth that are going on. You know, so it's not hard for them to direct people into a certain way, you know, with propaganda and so on and so forth. You know, but the point that you made, and I'm backing up, is the fact that you people are gonna have to give up access. And once they give up that access, you're never gonna get it back. And that's the end of it for you. You know, but you got it, bro.
That's right. That's right. Let's get to that.
I just want to say something. Since you brothers are bringing out all these points, you know, about, you know, the AI, the super soldier, and all these type of things. And I've had a heavy spirit, and recently I've been reading like a lot of like Hebrews 11, like the latter part of it, like I think like getting to like 30 something, like 32 or 33. But basically the emphasis of Hebrews the 11th chapter is pretty much faith. And like brothers going into AI, super soldiers, and things like that. How are we going to overcome these things? How are we going to be able to, like you were mentioning, like being locked up in Guantanamo Bay, somewhere far away, and things like that, right? That's not a good thing. That's a horrific thing. That's horrible, right? Being locked up, being somewhere else, being around people that are giving up and things like that. But how are you going to be able to overcome these things? How are you going to be able to overcome super soldiers? We're just regular men. We don't have any might. We don't have any strength.
Right.
Like you were mentioning Isaiah, the 40th chapter. I believe it starts like 28 or 29 and things like that. How are we going to overcome these things? It's through faith. That's what people don't understand. It's like, how do we not take the, I almost said the word, but the Vanessa and things like that. It was through faith, believing that the Heavenly Father will pull through for us, come up a way to, take care of us and things like that. It's all through faith. Some people look at that like a funny thing, or like that's something weak, but no, that's actually something strong. When you read Hebrews, the 11th chapter, it talks about, let me just get it real quick. I don't want to butcher it. My bad. But yeah, I see that. Across the street. That door, like, what? I'm not moving. Right? I'll start, verse 32. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 32. And what shall I more say? For the time would fail me to tell of Gideon, and of Barak, and of Samson, and of Jephthah, of David also, and Samuel, and of the prophets, who through faith subdued kingdoms, wrought righteousness, obtained promises, and stopped the mouth of lions. So it was through faith that you are able to conquer and to overcome these things. It's not through your own means, like we just read in Samuel. How is it that we were then able to overcome the Philistines? What? Hey, go get the Ark of the Covenant. It was what? Having faith in the Heavenly Father. Yo, go get the Ark. Once the Heavenly Father pull up, once we have the Ark, we're unstoppable. It was having faith in the Heavenly Father that we will be able to overcome these things. It's through faith that will help you overcome a place like Guantanamo Bay or whatever other places they may have. It's through faith that's going to give us the power, spiritual power, to overcome such things like super soldiers and all these things. It's not through your own means. This world has taught you, which really Esau has taught people to really have faith and believe in him. But he's the one that's corrupting. He's the one that's really destroying our people. But the Heavenly Father is calling the elect to tell them, look, I got a way. I got a way out of this thing. That's why when the elect deny these things, deny the CHIP and things like that, Esau is going to be stunned like, how is it that you are denying these things? Other people is believing this. Other people is taking it. Why is it that you're not taking it? What is up with you? What? Because the elect have another option. That's what Esau creates. He creates himself as I'm the only option. There is no other escape from me. He's creating himself as if he is the Heavenly Father. Just trust in me. Look to me. But no, we have another option. We have another support. We've always had another support. That's just been taken away from us. I just want to bring that up because everything that your brother was saying, but it's very important to emphasize, about faith. Faith is how we're going to be able to overcome these things. It's not through your own means.
Right. Right. Beautifully said, man.
I think I stopped there.
Yep.
Isaiah the 13th chapter and verse 3. I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones from mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness.
Yep. Which are going to the angels. And why is the Lord calling them? See, the angels have a very important role to play, right? They play a role in the heavens. They play a role on the earth. They are like when you're if you ever go to see how a movie scene is shot or a TV show scene is shot, you have the people that walk around with the mics, so that you don't see the mics, but it's close enough to capture what's being said. You have the people working on the lighting. You have the cameramen, right? You have the people, the makeup artists. You have all these people behind the scenes. setting up the set, you know, and all of that. The people doing the editing, the director who's looking at it, and he's like, okay, did they act it out correctly how I wanted it to be? You know, no, cut, try it again. I need you to get more passion in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need you to really, you know what I'm saying? Like, now that is a lightweight imitation. But the point is, the angels are the ones behind the scenes making things happen, right? I put a video, you know, in the chat of individual. I think his name was Don Spirits. He basically called 911 and said, "Look, send the guys in here. You can tell he just whatever he was going through, he had just had it." He said, "Look, send them in here. This is the address. I just took out, it was like 6 children or so. He said either 6 or 4 children and 1 adult, and I'm gonna shoot myself when the cops get here. So just go ahead and send them." And the lady's trying to guess. He said, "Look, I'm not gonna just send them over here, you know." And he's just speaking so nonchalant. He's like, "Yeah, I took them all out, and I'm gonna take myself out too when you get here." That's a spirit that's on him, you know, to do that. For whatever reason, whatever the Lord decided was gonna happen, He sent a spirit down, and that angel was behind the scenes. He said, "Look, this is the part in the movie where you take them all out and you take yourself out. So how is that going to happen? You ain't going to do it of your own volition, of your own free will. So the Lord needs to send some extra influence on you to make you do it." Okay? And then next thing you know, you get phone calls like that wondering what the hell just happened over here. But this is, in order for the movie, look, in order for the Apostle Peter to deny Yahushua, he had to. There were certain prophecies written that Yahushua had to fulfill. Some, he literally came there and said, "Look, I got to go here." He'll tell, "Look, we're going here today. You know, then we're going to go do this." And then he does it and then says, "Okay, this day, this has been fulfilled." Because when he came on the earth, there were certain things he had to actually do, right? That's why he told John, "Suffer it to be so." But when the Apostle Peter denied Yahushua, see, the difference is Yahushua was on another level, right? Yahushua knew what he had to do. The Apostle Peter was an actor in the movie. And being an actor in the movie, he's just playing his role. So he didn't have the same understanding as Yahushua to look, nah, I ain't doing that. That's why he told the Lord, "No, I'm not going to let them kill you. They're not taking you." The Lord said, "No, you get behind me because that's the script. And you're going to go off script." What happens when you go off script? They cut. Hold on. Whoa. What are you talking about? The script says you got to do this. What are you, what are you saying, man? "Oh, my bad. I had a rough night last night. All right, let me get into the game. Boom, boom." Then you get back in the zone, right? The way the Lord does it is he doesn't do cut and no. He just sends spirit on you. That's why the Apostle Peter went from, matter of fact, let's get that. He went from, "Lord, ain't nobody going to touch you," to, "I don't know him." And he got so in the spirit that he got tight that they were saying, "No, you sure? I think you were with one of, you definitely one of his disciples." You can imagine how pissed off he was. Imagine you trying to stay low key and there's somebody out here just trying to blow your spot. You know? Like, here it is. You know you weren't supposed to be somewhere, but you were there. And then your annoying ass nephew like, no, I saw him leaving the house last night. You know? Yeah, he didn't go through the front door though. He went through the back window. Yeah, I saw him. You know, he told me, he was like, "Shh, don't say nothing. I'm gonna buy you some cookies." You like this? You like, nah? He's just that day. That's not what happened. You know? How did I go out the back window and I would, and then you give reasons, right? I would have probably hurt my knee if I jumped that high. No, I remember because he got a ladder. That's what he did. And you like, yo, this, you know what I'm saying? Like, wait till I catch your ass. So you start getting mad, and that's what happened to Apostle Peter. You know, he started getting mad. He'll go to another area because he's following. Why was he following? Because he had to fulfill what he had to fulfill. And yet they found, "You sure? No, that's him. Look, even the way he talks, it sounds like one of those from up around Galilee area. He definitely one of them. You know, annoying ass maze and shit. You know, yo, come here. That's him right there." So he got so mad. He's like, "I don't know him. You know, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know him. I don't know what you're talking about." Why did he do that? Why did he switch up, as the world would say, and go from "Lord, I'll defend you," to cutting off the servant of the high priest's ear, to now denying the Lord 3 times? And then it's like he snapped out of it. You know, when the cock crew 3 times, then he snapped out of it. Oh shit, what the yo, you know? That's because the Lord put the spirit on him, said, at this point in the movie, you gotta play this role right here, whether you like it or not. Or else the movie ain't gonna go according to the script. So you don't get a choice in that. You got that? Got it.
This is Matthew chapter 26 and verse 69. Now Peter sat without in the palace, and a damsel came unto him, saying, Thou also was with Yahushua of Galilee.
So you were with Yahushua. You wanted to be his disciples. You probably one of the top ones that was next to him too. So if he's a threat, you probably a threat. We gotta keep an eye on you.
Verse 70. But he denied before them all, saying, I know not what thou sayest.
And that's the point, because it wasn't. If it was just a damsel that said it, then okay. But there were people around. That's why he denied before all of them. You know, I'm saying, what she talking about? If you don't keep your mouth shut, what do you know? You know, I don't know who you talking about. You know, stop with that. Stop with that. It's not funny.
And when he was gone out into the porch, meaning, so he moved.
So yeah, he moved. He said, "These people on to me." So he went out to the porch, guys.
And another maid saw him and said unto them that were there, This fellow was also with Yahushua of Nazareth.
So she didn't say it to him. She said to them that were there. oh, he was with Yahushua. Now, here's the thing: where he wasn't like let's just say the safest place to be at that point in time, right? So he's like, I'm trying to keep a low profile. You're literally snitching on me. That's what the world will call it today. Yo, you're snitching on me, you know? And she's telling all the people over there. Go ahead.
And again he denied with an oath, I know not the man.
So he basically swore up and down, you know? I don't know this man. So you sure you don't know? Now you can imagine they questioned him, you know? Like realistically speaking, right? If they did capture the Yahushua and brought him there, and a maid is saying to them, yo, that's gotta be, that's one of his disciples. I know it's one of his disciples. They're going, yo, you should say, what she talking? Yo, you one of his, you know what I'm saying? So he assured them fully with an oath, I do not know the man. You know, that's not me. You got me fucked up.
No, Jake, it's everybody started. Nobody was paying attention. Once people hear that,
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, he went there. Oh, him? Yo, catch his ass. Hey, guys.
And after a while came unto him they that stood by, and said to Peter, Surely thou art one of them,
No shit.
for thy speech bewrayeth thee.
So they came. Like I said, after a while, they came up. You know, like, nah, you definitely got to be one of them, because when it says thy speech, remember they all spoke Hebrew. But today, how you know if somebody's from Philly or if somebody's from Baltimore, or somebody's from New York? You can tell they all speak English. We can tell by the way they speak English. Two, you know what I'm saying? Or two, you know? It was good. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can tell by the way they speak, like, oh, this guy's definitely from the South, or this guy from over here, or he's from over here. It's like the slang. So from where up there in Galilee, they probably pronounce certain words differently, right? So they knew, they're like, nah, you definitely one of them, because the way you talking, you're not from here. You know, you from up there.
Then began he to curse and to swear, saying,
Damn.
I know not the man. And immediately the cock crew.
There you go. So at that point, he's like, look, he did everything he could. You can imagine out of desperation, he's swearing, he's cursing. I don't know, nope. Like, and that's crazy because he was the top disciple of Yahushua. Yahushua said, look, upon this rock, I'm going to build, my church. Right? So now you ask yourself, nah, Peter, you literally, like, the Lord had to curse you out to calm you down, to tell you that he has to do what he has to do. And within the span of that night, you already cursing up and down, swearing up and down, saying you don't know the man. Not even that you didn't follow him, you don't know him. So you never heard of Yahushua. Everybody in the city done heard about him. He's performing miracles. You never heard. I don't know what you're talking about. Nope. When Jake get to that point, even if it's reasonable, they just gonna deny it. And just, I don't know. Nope. I don't know what you're talking about. Nah. I said nah. All right. So yeah.
You really don't know him?
I don't know what you're talking about, man. Yes. That's what Jake do. You catch him on camera, so that's not you right there. That's not me. Bro, that's your face, and that's not me, bro. That's not me. You got me. That's somebody else. So I don't know. Bro, he has your watch, bro. That's not me. You wearing the same watch. That's not me, bro. And then they start getting mad. But that's Jake. The point here is, why did the Apostle Peter do that? But let's read what happened after the cock crew.
Verse 75.
That's it. That's it.
And when Peter remembered the word of Yahushua, which said unto him, before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice.
There you go. 3 times. So, at that point, it's when the spirit, you can say like the influence he was under, that human side of him, he snapped out of it and remembered. Because why did he remember at that point? He heard the cock crow and he remembered what Yahushua said. And then that like all that came back to him, like, oh shit, like this is so crazy. Because the Lord told you would do this and you denied. You said, no, I'm not gonna do it. And here you are literally doing it. But I think there's more, right? What he did after that? After he realized that?
Yeah, it says, and he went out and wept bitterly.
And he wept bitterly. Okay? Keyword bitterly. He didn't just go and, a couple tears dropped down. He wept bitterly, like one in regret. But I mean, technically speaking, he couldn't have done anything about it. Because had he not done that, then what Yahushua said would not have come true. Right? So he had to do that, and he had to play that role, whether he liked it or not. Similar to how the saying goes, smite the shepherd and the sheep shall scatter. Where do you think his disciples were at? I think when you read in the book of Mark, it talks about the elaborate maneuvers that Mark did to escape. He mentions how there was a young man in there. Now you got to ask yourself, how did Mark know about that young man over there? But pretty much there was a young man in there at the garden, and when they got Yahushua, it says he was wearing this robe, and then one of the centurions grabbed him up too. So when they grabbed him, he basically just like did that fling out of that robe and booked it. I don't know, whatever he had on, he just cooked it and left that robe, full speed. So the point is, like, they scattered, right? And that they had to do that in order to make those words come to pass. So going back to the point that this is the Lord's movie, the things that you do, as much as they are in your control, they're also not in your control. And that's why in Revelation 3:10, the Lord said, I will keep thee in the hour of temptation. You may want to give up. You may want to give in. You may say, Lord, that's it. I'm done. I can't take this anymore. And somehow, some way, somehow, you're still standing strong. Because the Most High is going to put that spirit upon you. He's going to override your senses and make you do it. If you're of the elect, you cannot take to see him. All right, let me put it that way so it's explicit. If you're a member of the elect, even if you wanted to take to see him, you cannot. Even if at one point you said, I'm done, I'm going to go take it, everything in the world would happen to make sure you don't. You're going to go there and the system is going to be malfunctioning. They're going to tell you come back tomorrow. You're going to go, there's a long ass line. Just when it gets to you, you're going to get a phone call. Your wife just got into a car accident. Now you got to go, you know what I'm saying? Then you got to go do that. Because the whole time you're going to know in the back of your mind, you ain't supposed to be doing that. But you're like, the Lord will make sure you don't take it. Because according to the word, you cannot take it. And likewise, if you're not of the elect, it doesn't matter what you do. You're going to end up taking it. Whether you want to or you may be someone else and you don't take it, you still get destroyed. But if you hear in the Swords of America and it's written that you're going to take it, you're going to take it. So that's either going to scare you or that's going to comfort you. But either way, that's just the reality. You got it, bro.
God, I got the precept that you mentioned with during the time where Yahushua got arrested, right? Is a book of and that's gonna play out again because the scripture says that there is no new thing under the sun. When some of the men brothers now get grabbed up by Esau and them, you're gonna have other men who gonna run away. They're gonna flee. And it's gonna really reveal your character because where are you gonna go? Where are you running to? Like if we get arrested, that's our lot. Right? If we get our heads if we get beheaded, right, for the glory of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, that's fulfilling prophecy. It's written. You know what I mean? So you can't run from what's written. Like, Peter tried to do it, and Yahushua checked him like, "Yo, don't stray from the script. Stick to the script. No matter how crazy it might be, no matter what your role may be, stick to the script." All right. So continue. This is a book of Mark, chapter 14, and verse 48. It says, "And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Are ye come out as against a thief, with swords and with staves to take me? I was daily with you in the temple teaching, and you took me not, but the scriptures must be fulfilled." The script, right? So it says, verse 50, and they all forsook him and fled, talking about the disciples. And there followed him a certain young man, having a linen cloth cast about his naked body, and the young man laid hold on him, and he left. So he got grabbed up, and he left the linen cloth and fled from them naked. He was out of there. You know, it says, and they led Yahushua away to the high priest, and with him were assembled all the chief priests and the elders and the scribes. And Peter followed him afar off, even into the palace of the high priest. And
There
he
you go.
sat
And I'm
with the
gonna say
servants.
real quick. I'm gonna say real quick to you. That's why he was so adamant about denying the Lord. He was in the palace of the high priest. So there's guards and there's all of them over there, and that's the same people that just arrested Yahushua, right? So imagine you in a police precinct, and you with a brother that got arrested because they said he was committing treason, and you were teaching with him the whole time. And one of them people was like, "Yo, aren't you one of those people? I think I seen you on a video teaching with that guy we just locked up." So you just so you can get a visual of the kind of example of a situation you might be in over there. You got it, bro.
Gone. And when Esau cast out his bullshit propaganda against brothers, against the truth, hey, now we can go into public spaces and nobody recognizes us. Soon we're gonna be everywhere. You know, going into that fame, we're gonna be infamous and famous at the same time. You know, where the propaganda is gonna get so thick and so aggressive, right? That people are gonna be basically the conditioning of dehumanization will be in full effect to the point where people are gonna see us like we're actually a threat to society. Like they're gonna look at us like we're more of a threat to society than the freaking cops that they have in these streets. That be mowing Jake down left and right, be talking about, oh, my life is in danger. Whole bunch of pussies in the freaking police force, man. Like, what do you do if you're afraid of what you're doing? Why are you in that profession in the first place? Huh? You got people just shooting people left and right. Like, what are you doing? Just because you have a gun, you got to just use it? What is this, man? You know, not to stray off topic, but you're gonna have people who be on the train. You're gonna have people like, oh, those are the men that I've been seeing on YouTube. Y'all Hebrew Israelites. You know, they're gonna just recognize us by the Spirit, and you're gonna go in places where people are gonna see you, and they're gonna be like, oh, hey, you look like one of the Hebrew Israelites. Hey, shalom. Hey, can I get you something to drink? Can I get you some food? So you're gonna have spirits like that, you know, and those are most likely gonna be of the elect, you know, because the scripture says if you give a prophet a cup of water, you shall receive a prophet's reward. You know, so those who going to do right by the men of the Lord, or even on the spirit of Rahab, right? Something may be happening. They might be like, yo, come spend the night over here, or come chill over here. They're not going to see you over here. You know, whatever the case may be. Or yo, I got the car. Yo, here, take my keys. Just go. Figure it out. You got to go. You know, I know they're after you. They're not coming for me. They're coming for you. Just go. Be out. You know. So you're gonna have people that are gonna be looking out. You know, because the Lord is going to put certain spirits in certain places during our flee, like the brothers who was fleeing over here. You know, our flight, I should say, right? The Lord is going to have vantage points where we're going to be able to get breaks. You know, Elijah was fleeing for his life, and then the Lord freed him by the mouth of a raven. Okay, he sent an angel to bring him food and told him, hey, eat and drink because your journey is far. You know what I mean? So if these are all written, hey, what makes you think that the Lord is not going to do that for us when he's explicitly said, my servant shall eat, my servant shall drink when everybody is starving and going thirsty? You know what I mean? So we're going to be good, man. Just keep your faith in the Lord, and he's going to do it like he's done time and time again, man. All right? That's all I got, bro. You got it.
Beautiful. Let's get back in that. So the script is written for the elect to win. You know, that's the story right there. Yahushua started it, and we're just gonna follow in his path. Go on.
Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 4. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people.
Like as of a great people. Go ahead.
A tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the hosts of the battle. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, and the weapons of his indignation.
Yeah, so who is it that's coming from a far country? What are the weapons of the Lord's indignation? The nuclear missiles. Okay, because that's how the Lord is going to express his anger, with that fire. He did in the past with water. This time he's going to do it with fire. Okay, And that's why he has them advancing in this technology and so on and so forth. Got it?
To destroy the whole land.
Yeah, what land? The land the land whose burden it was that Isaiah is seeing. And that's Babylon the Great. It's great in wickedness and it's going to be great in destruction. All right, so the destruction, the missiles or the weapons of the Lord's indignation is going to completely wipe clear this whole land. This whole land that you're seeing that is being built upon, advanced, and so on and so forth. People are trying to flood up in here as much as they want. From New York to Cali, it's going to be wiped off. Fire. You're just going to see fire, lava, smoke, and just a massive destruction. All right. And that destruction is going to be so big that if you were outside the Earth's atmosphere, you'd be able to see it on the Earth. Just like when they zoom out of the wildfires, you see red or orange on that certain part of the map. You're going to see that on a much larger scale. Got it.
Verse 6. Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand.
Mm-hmm.
It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty.
Yeah, so the Most High is bringing destruction. The day of the Lord is the theme of the day of the Lord is that of destruction. Destruction for who and why? Destruction for the wicked, for their ungodly living, their ungodly way of life. And it's nothing new. It's nothing new. It's just going to be on a greater level because the Lord did this to Sodom and Gomorrah, right, and the neighboring cities for the way that they were living, the wicked ways they were living. He did it countless times to Israel, right? Just not on that level that he's going to do here to America. Go ahead.
Verse 7. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt.
Yeah, when something is faint, it means that it's not strong. It's weak. And when it says all hands are going to be faint, it means that the ability for people to take action and resolve this and try to find a way out of this, that's going to cease to exist. And all hearts shall melt, meaning when somebody has a mental breakdown, okay, their heart, meaning their minds, it's going to melt. It's going to lose its form. It's going to structure. They're going to be hopeless and broken down because they're going to look up and they're going to realize there is no escape from this. You're looking up, you're hearing missiles. Look, in the movie The Knowing, I think it was The Knowing, you had at the end when his kids got delivered, he went home and he went and hugged up his family, and then the fire came and then destroyed them all. You can't outdrive it. You can't outrun it. The land you're living on is about to get cooked. So you're done. You're done. And that's that when people see that and realize that, they're going to know, all right, this is the end. Go ahead.
Verse 8. And they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them.
Yeah, they're going to be afraid, and it's going to show it's going to be very visible when you see the fear upon the faces of people today or during that time. Buildings, you stand there, boom, and then you realize that didn't even happen next to you. Imagine that you feeling the earth shake, you hearing a loud bang, and you're thinking there's something just happened around, and you come to find out this is like a state or two states down. You're like, damn. Like what could have been so strong that it hit like 2 states down? It hit freaking Jersey or Long Island, and I'm feeling it over here. Like a building next to me exploded. And you're gonna realize there's more coming. And eventually, and that's the thing, people are gonna be like, yo, this shit just hit Cali. Then literally as you're hearing that news, it just hit freaking Texas. And you're like, when is it gonna hit me? When is it gonna hit New York? Or when is it gonna hit Jersey? Like, I don't know. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. What are we gonna, come on, let's get our stuff, honey. Let's go. Where are you going? Where are you? We're not going to be running. We're alive, and we're here, delivered during that time. We're not going to be running. We're going to be waiting because we know how this is going to go. One of two ways. You're either going to get beamed up or you're going to get destroyed. And we may come out and you may not see a chariot. You may not see any chariots. And then guess what? Even at that very last moment, your faith is being tested. Because you're like, this is the part of the movie where the chariots pull up. This is where Yahushua comes because I see the missiles and they hitting places and they getting closer to me. And now you're wondering where the chariots at. And then you may have certain people like, yo, I mean, what if they're not coming? What if we really are cooked, bro? But then that's when you gotta just, if we cook, then we cook. But if we cook, hey, we went out believing what we believed, and so even if it wasn't true, it's not our fault, right? We believed it anyway. You gotta have the mindset that look, it's gonna show up because the Lord does that. And then last minute, as you see the missiles coming and you see them flying over your head, you see the sky get super dark. Then all of a sudden you see, because you know in some of these movies they show how the chariots are able to cloak, they're gonna able to go invisible, and then all of a sudden just appear. And in like a second, the whole skies are filled with chariots. You know, and before you know it, you close your eyes and you're anticipating in 2 seconds there should be a boom, but you don't. You never feel a boom. You never hear a boom. Then eventually you open your eyes and you're like, oh.
An example is Egypt. When we left Egypt, Pharaoh and his armies pulled up, and Israel turned back and looked. It was like, oh shit! And it was like, did we not tell you straightly, Moses, to leave us in Egypt, to leave us alone? Now you see we got this problem. But what happened? The Lord said, Moses said, what? The Egyptians you see today, you shall see them no more. The Lord shall deliver you, and you shall hold your peace. And then Moses was trying to talk to Heavenly Father. Heavenly Father, what are you talking to me for? Go to the edge of the sea. Go lift up your staff, and it's going. The sea's going to spread apart. The other example I also thought of was I know it's in Kings. I can't remember if it's first or second. I think it's second with Elisha and his servant, and when the armies pulled up to him, and he was like, "Open the eyes of this young man that he may see," because he wasn't seeing the what you call it before,
Chariots.
the chariots. But then what? When he opened his eyes, then it was like, "Oh snap!"
Yeah, that's right. Go ahead. So you know, in humility, we expect Lord willing to be delivered. You know, that's why when we look up, we're gonna do what the scriptures say, right? Lift up your heads. That's what we're gonna be doing, because our salvation is not gonna come from under us. It's gonna come up from above. So we're gonna be lifting up our heads. And at that point, you're gonna see chariots. You know, you're gonna see big giant chariots up in the sky. Like, oh shit, you know, they're all finally here. Now is the final. You know, it's like waiting for the final grades to be posted. You know, you refreshing. You're like, if I fail this class, I'm done. I have to pass this. So you click, and at that very moment, you're gonna find out if the Lord finds you worthy or not. You know, but based on how the Lord has dealt with you up until that point, you know, the elect are gonna have that confidence and that faith to know, all right, it's just a matter of time. Because why would the Lord use divine intervention to deliver me during the time of all hell breaking loose here before the chariots came, just so he could burn me up with a laser beam? You know, why would the Lord speak to you and give you explicit directions? You know, go here, do this, do that, and give you the means to avoid taking the sea hip, just so he could blast your ass with a laser at the end? Doesn't make sense, right? Oh, got it.
Continuing in verse 8, they shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth.
Yeah, and when the thing about a woman in travail is, it's not 2 minutes of pain and then she's good. Okay, she's screaming for a minute because the pain is still there and it's just increasing. And it's just like, yo, if you stop pushing, there's still pain. If you keep pushing, there's even more pain. And if you don't do anything, there's even more pain. So what do? It's pain all the way until it's done, until the process is done. So these people are going to be like a woman that's travailed. You're going to be like, you're going through labor. From the start of Jacob's trouble, your water broke. And until the end, you either get destroyed or you get delivered, but you're going to be going through that pain of pushing out that baby. You know, here it is, you push the baby out and the nigga like, nah, I'm going back in. Push me out again. You know, there it is. The doctor's supposed to help you bring the baby out, but he keep pushing the baby back in. You're like, nigga, I'm going through, you know, that's what Jacob's trouble is going to be like for some of these people. You want it to be over with quick, and yet it feels like it's now slowing down even more. You know the saying, you watch some of these shows, they'll say, something bad happens, and they'll say, oh my gosh, can it get any worse? And then something worse happens. Boom. A building falls on them. That's what's going to be happening to these people. Bad after bad after bad after worse.
They shall be amazed they shall be amazed one at another.
Mhm.
Their faces shall be as flame.
Yeah, they're going to be shocked. They're going to be shocked. They're gonna be terrified. They're gonna be afraid. And man, I tell you, man, it had to be bad enough that Isaiah mentioned it in here because he saw this, but he had to have seen it on a high level enough to highlight it in here and give it that level of importance. Because people today are afraid of cockroaches, okay? Cockroaches. And when I say cockroaches, I mean, you hear a shriek, they shriek, and you're like, what the hell happened? Like, did something go on? And you come there and find out there's a cockroach. And here it is, this 300-pound woman was able to jump onto the top of the kitchen counter like she the Hulk or some shit. She'll do that over a cockroach, And you're wondering in your head, yo, all it took was for me to come in here and step on this joint and it's done. And this is your reaction to that? How are you going to react when you see an actual demon manifest, Or you have to live through this time, like that movie, that scene from Ozark, where he thought in the beginning, where he thought he was about to die, and the other person next to him got shot right in the head next to him. Because at that point, you're hoping you could bargain with this guy, right? And then when you see how cold-heartedly the guy's dead next to you, now you're like, okay, I'm cooked. I'm dead. I'm gone. That fear, the heart beating, boom, 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 and you can't even barely think. That's the kind of experiences people are going to be going through daily. We always used to give this example, like you just narrowly escaped. Imagine you running with somebody, right? And you trying to get into, like, maybe you trying to crawl through some small area because you being chased, and you just managed to go through, and the other person is coming, and they grab them by the feet. You just see like a hand just come out from behind and grab them by the feet and then pull them, and then they got pulled, and then you just hear like some chainsaw, some shit, and then screams for a good couple of hours, and then eventually the screams stop. And you just there, hiding, traumatized. You got it.
A quick precept. There's a book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 19. It says,
Come on with it.
as if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him. So basically, like you said, there'll be no escape. You turn left, you turn right. It's gonna be like, okay, this is literally like a trap. This is a snare all around me. When you make a left and you got drones coming your way, and then you turn here, you think you sneak past the drones, and then you got some damn robot dogs hopping, trotting, that funny little trot that they be doing. Them niggas is like coming towards you and shit,
Yep.
And then you see helicopters flying up above you. You see military police, guarding the area, scanning the area because they know there's somebody in there. You just know it's you the only motherfucker in there, and they can sense your heat. And it's just a matter of time before they get your ass. And you made them run around all this time, so when they get you, they're gonna really whoop your ass, like, So it's gonna be no breaks, man. No breaks. And that's what the Lord's gonna do to all you wicked ass people out there, right? In Proverbs 1, it says what? He shall laugh when your fear cometh, when your calamity cometh. So the Lord's gonna put people in very funny situations, man. It's gonna be very, very hilarious, to be honest with you. Watching certain people get taken out, judgment from the Lord like that, it's gonna be a joy to watch, man. And it's gonna be fearful at the same time too, because you're like, damn, like, yo, the Lord, damn, bro, like, oof, we've seen things, but we ain't seen what's about to happen yet. Like I believe in the book of John or Matthew, it's John the 9th chapter, I believe, where Yahushua healed a man, and Jake was all marveled. They were like, oh, we ain't seen it like this. We ain't seen it like this before. Like, they were like, oh shit, we ain't seen no shit like this before. That's how Jake is gonna be. They're gonna be using social media to push all this fear, little things that's gonna be going on. The drug cartel got people chopping them up, eating them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, damn, bro. They're gonna be raping women left and right, and then after they're done raping you, they chop you up, cook your shit, and eat. Serve you a hot plate. Since you like eating pork so damn much, they're gonna eat you like pork. You got it, bro.
That's it. And it may be vivid, but it ain't vivid enough. Words do not do it justice to when you may watch a movie, right, at a movie theater, and it may put you, because the brain. The thing about the brain is sometimes it can't actually tell the difference between experiencing something and looking at it. right? Because if it perceives something that you're watching to be real enough, you may start to feel like it's happening to you. That is the reason why when you watch a movie with high suspense, your heart beats, you know, as the camera goes into first person mode, and then you just hear the breathing, and it's dark, and then the person, and then they hear a, you know, the door's opening, and then they start to slowly turn around, boom, and then there's nothing there. And they turn and there's a demon right in front of them. And you know, oh, shit, what the fuck? You know, you jump back because your brain starts to think that it's you that's actually there. So how you would react in that situation is how, if it's powerful enough, you react, you know, you jump back a bit, and then you realize, oh no, it's just a movie. Let me calm down. You look around, hoping nobody saw me. You know, that's how the brain works. So sometimes you get a close kind of feeling to these things when you watch these kinds of movies, but it's still not enough. Why do some people cry when they watch movies? Why do some people get angry when they watch it? These are emotions that are affecting you by something that's not actually affecting you, where your brain starts to feel like it's you, you know? And so the point is, the words that we're speaking are not enough. But you may watch a movie and it may give you a little bit of a experience, but that's still not enough. Because when you're actually in it, like we always say, there's no pause button. There's no, that's too gruesome. I don't want to see that. There's no, let me go use the bathroom real quick. None of that exists. There's no timeouts in real life. You know, if you cross the street at the wrong time and see a car coming towards you and it's about to sweep you up into the air, you can't time out and freeze time. It doesn't happen that way. In real life, you get one life and it's game over. So the Lord either got your back or you're done. And that's what people fail to understand when they walk around. And one of the things that I hate hearing the most, man, people like, oh, if I die, I die.
Yeah.
You know, whatever happens, happens. Like, do you understand the magnitude of what you're saying here? And these are the same people, you just twist their finger just a little bit and they freaking screaming up into the top of their lungs.
Well, to use your example, like you mentioned with the cockroach. You have that same mentality with the cockroach.
Right.
The cockroach land on you. It is what it is. But no, like you were mentioning, they go across the room on top of a bookshelf. I know a chick that the minute she see any little insect, it could be a gnat, she freaking out. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's a little ass shit. But what? They just freak out. So have that same mentality when it comes to cockroach. If it land on you, it land on you. That's it. Don't worry about it. But that's to show you that when it's easy to say, oh, it is what it is. But when you're in it, you see that your reaction is not the same thing as it is what it is or it's whatever. You have to react. It's like, yo, when death is in front of you, you're not just going to be all, okay, yeah, just kill me. Nah, the Lord wants his vengeance to be exact upon you. It's not fun for him to just have you just, nah, he wants to hear you scream. He wants to hear you like just, oh my God, please, no, that's what he wants. This is not, these spirits, like it says, spirits created for vengeance to pretty much bring about the pleasure of the Heavenly Father. When these spirits do that, they want to bring out all the emotion, everything, so they can get like, Lord, is it good enough? Nah, a little bit more. What about not? Nah, just a little bit more. It's just getting there, but not enough. Like you mentioned earlier, it's a movie. Okay, now we there. Then now she's good enough right now.
Like the movie A Quiet Place.
You're right. Yeah.
I don't even know. I think one of the latest ones where you with the black chick.
Day one.
Yeah, Day One. Yeah. And you see those demons and they look crazy as hell. Those creatures. Now remember, that came out of the imagination of a man. Somebody thought about designing them to look. He thought like, okay, what features do humans fear the most? One, speed. Something that's very fast is scary to people. That's why when you drive in a car and you're driving super fast, some people get scared, right? Another thing is size. Something that's too big is scary for people because they're looking at it like, yo, this thing could literally, that's why a toy car that comes to hit your foot is not the same as a freaking 18-wheeler or whatever coming towards you. The next thing is something that's unknown. You've never seen it before. Your brain doesn't recognize it. Something like that is scary to people. So these directors look at these things and they're like, look, design a creature that's big, that's fast, and that looks weird. You know, has like, sharp things. It has sharp teeth. Why do beasts always are depicted with like claws, sharp teeth, scary looking faces in the nighttime, in the dark area? So this is coming out of the mind of a man who has studied humans and says, this is what scares them the most. The Most High created demons. He also created you and the mind that you use to come up with these scary depictions. So when the Most High has something that can, you got Egyptians that are dealing with left-hand sorceries. So do you imagine the horrific things they see and the kind of contracts and then stuff that they make? And even they were scared out of their minds when the Lord hit them with the plagues of Egypt. And they had experience with spirits. So how much more for the world today when people don't even, you know what I'm saying? Like, people are scared of their own shadow. And the Lord is going to show you the most horrific things that would have put them Egyptians in a freaking coma. And he's going to unleash you. He's going to lock you in a room with your biggest fears. You got it.
It is a scripture that says, I will laugh at your calamity. I forgot the exact scripture, but I think it's in the book of Proverbs. Yeah. The water. So the Lord actually wants to see it because he wants to laugh.
It's going to be amusing. Why do people watch scary movies? Why do people go to watch what's that movie? What's some of them scary movies? The Conjuring, right? And all these other ones, and they got the scary nun that's just freaking popping up and harassing people and shit, right? Why do people go and watch movies like that? Think about it. And those are like a lot of the best sellers. Your Final Destinations, Scream. These are the movies. Yeah, I can't wait. Why? They get a thrill from it. They get an amusement from it. So the Most High is gonna put you in the movie, and he's gonna get amused from it. Ain't nothing better. Like anybody who's watched Game of Thrones, we all know that you may have been a little disappointed, but there was still some level of satisfaction when this demon Ramses finally got eaten by those dogs.
Oh,
You know, at
yeah.
the
Oh,
end.
yeah.
No, actually, I was a little disappointed. I was like, nah,
You
I
wanted more, right?
Yeah, I was like, nah, more than that.
But all the shit he did, when they
Sure.
finally got him, man, it was like, yo, put a centipede in his ear, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like and tie this dude's hands and feet. Like, give him the worst kind of worst. And seeing him go through that satisfies you. But why? If you had just met Ramsey, if the season started with him being tortured like that, you didn't know who he was, you didn't know what he did, you'd be like, damn, it's tough, man. Shit. I kind of feel bad for the guy. But when you see what he did, turning this guy into Reek, you know what I'm saying? What he did to Sansa and all this shit, you like, man, and it's like nothing is happening to this guy. Like, can somebody please get their hands on him? That's what the Most High is doing. Because you have been doing all this wickedness. You're lying. And these women too. You're lying to your husband. You're cheating on him. You're doing this and thinking you're slick. You know, it's like they get some high off of knowing that, yo, I just did all this crazy, low-key, freaky shit, and he didn't even know about it. And I just came home to him and kissed him, and then I went to bed with him, and I'm good. Like, I'm that good that I can get my pleasures and not get in trouble for it. And the Most High sees all that. So when he throws your ass in a scary movie, he is going to enjoy the parts where the parts where you hope the Lord is looking at you and feeling bad to have mercy on you. He's actually laughing and enjoying and having a good time. You know, pour me some more of that yayan. That's I know.
I was gonna say, like you mentioned with what's his name?
Ramsey?
Yeah. Nah, like the Heavenly Father has seen, like you were mentioning, we seen everything that this guy had done from the beginning of the show. Turning dude into Reek, he cut his nuts off, playing with the dude. I was tight. I was like, this guy gotta get Sansa out of everybody.
Right.
I almost would have preferred Joffrey, in all honesty.
Yo, for real.
Yeah. But then it's like, nah. Like when you see, like, okay, this is the moment they had a time, like, yes, this is finally the moment where you get what you deserve.
Mhm.
That's how it is with the Heavenly Father. Said you've been proud this entire time, and you're gonna get exactly what you deserve. There is no feel sorry for me. Nah, you wasn't feeling sorry for when you was doing all this wickedness to other people. When you was doing all this evil, you didn't feel nothing. So now you're gonna get the same thing.
Right. Go back into that. And the Lord is gonna have it to, we're not gonna intervene. You know? Look, bro, you got us messed up. If you think you're gonna catch a harsh judgment, we're gonna know the Lord is doing this to you, and you think we're supposed to jump in front of you like, Lord, no, please, like them anime scenes and shit. You know damn well that the dude could actually, like the bullet could go through you and hit the person behind you, right? You jump in front like you some superhero and shit, bro. Man, got it. That's not happening over here.
Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 9.
Mhm.
Behold, the day of the Lord cometh. I'm sorry. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh both cruel, with wrath and fierce anger.
Yeah, fierce anger. Once again, you get mad when you see people doing that stupid wicked shit. And even, man, it's more infuriating when they're proud about it. You know, like you see somebody doing something. No. You can get the sun. You get the sun. Yeah. But no, not us. Yeah. But you get. No. Oh, you said.
She said, "What's the sign?"
Oh, you said what's the sign? Yeah, you heard about that? You familiar with that? No. No, the Bible, none of that. Okay.
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
But more no, but because I don't want. But I
Ah, you're
respect.
not interested in it.
But I respect.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so you get infuriated. You know, you get infuriated when you see that level of like wickedness with pride. You know, and you're just like, Lord, when are you just gonna like, just do something to these people? And so when the Lord finally brings judgment, why the hell would we jump in front of you and try to save you? You know, we warned, we did enough. We did enough. We're out here. We got all these lessons going on, and in return, what do? You curse us out. You know, you say, no, don't come to me with that. I don't want to hear that. You know, get that out of here. Like people actually get mad about that. Yo, get that shit out of here, yo. Like, yo, we don't. I told you I don't want to hear that. But you then expect that you going through something, and we're supposed to come and do what exactly? Like, wait, what exactly do you expect us to do for you in Jacob's trouble? That's a lesson right there. You know, if all hell starts breaking loose and you see a man of the Lord and you're like, please, what are we supposed to do for you? Like, what do you expect me to do? You're starving because the Lord is not feeding you. What am I supposed to do? What, pray for you? That's not how I'll pray. I'll tell the Lord, that's it. You know, put a little bit of fire under that. You know, cook them a bit. You know, add a little bit more here and there. See, people are gonna find out what reality is about. The stuff that people in the other countries, the what do they call those third world countries? The reality that they live, a lot of people are gonna find that out here times 10. The world is a quote unquote cruel place, man. And people are not obligated to do what you think they're obligated to do. People think that just because you see a woman on the highway stopped and her car is broken down and she's bent over it, you have to go and help her. That's what it means to be a gentleman. You know, somebody is coming. You gotta hold the door for them because that's what it means to be a gentleman. That's not real life. That is pseudo expectations that have been set by a artificial reality that you live in over here, and you expect that to be the case wherever you go. I saw a video of some woman. She went from America to one of the countries in the East. I forgot where it was, Dubai or somewhere, to try and get married to a I forgot what it was, like somebody that was either underage or something like that. And the boy's family was not down with it. This woman said she's not leaving until it gets done. She said the deed got to get done, and y'all got to get up out of here because I ain't leaving. And there's that pride that they take from here over there. And a couple of them have found out the hard way. They went there trying to do twerking and shit, got thrown up in the prison. They got her locked up over there. You know, they try to take this stupid shit over there, and they find out the hard way that they don't play that over there. The reality is different over there, and that reality is gonna come over here. That's why you got DJ Trump up in there. He gonna show you the cruelness of what it means to put. He's gonna be like, look, your dumb ass just thought it was okay to bring me back in here. like here it is. There was a serpent loose in your house or an alligator loose in your house. You called the people, they caught the alligator, and you came and released it back into your house. What do you think the alligator's thinking? Oh, you're such a sweet, kind-hearted person. You really brought me back. I was trying to eat you the first time, but because you loosed me and brought me back, I'm gonna let you off the hook. That's not what it is. That's gonna be like that picture where the lion, the lion takes the picture with the dude. Like, I'm about to eat this fool. #blessed. This nigga in my den, and I haven't eaten in 3 days. And he thinks I'm hugging on him because I miss him. This nigga here. You got it.
Verse 9 again. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger,
Mm-hmm.
to lay the land desolate.
Yeah, what land is that? America. And how is it going to be laid desolate? By those nuclear missiles, by fire. Fire is the ultimate destructor. Okay? Go ahead.
And he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it.
And he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. Right? So the law is done away with. The law is done away with, you know, but you collecting people's tithes, go ahead. Go ahead. Because when the time comes, you're gonna find out there's gonna be a pattern between these people that are getting destroyed. Go ahead.
For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light.
Mm-hmm.
The sun shall be darkened and its going forth,
Mm-hmm.
and the moon shall not cause her light to shine.
Yeah, and you have the physical sense, like the literal sense, and then you have the metaphorical sense behind it. Because as we similar to Isaiah Psalms 19, right? It talks about their line that's going out throughout the whole world, and in them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun. So the sun and the moon represent knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, right? Which on one level, that's gonna, as it says, be darkened, right? When you read in Isaiah 19, it talks about that, right? The princes of Zoan have become brutish; they've become fools, right? Is there no more wisdom in Teman? All your ideas, all your contingency planning is all gonna go out the window, because what the Lord is gonna bring is gonna surpass all of your expectations. Okay, but then on the literal level, you are gonna have during the day of the Lord the sun being darkened and so on, because of one, all the smoke that's gonna be up, and two, all the objects that are gonna be flying in the air. Predominantly, those are entourage of missiles that are gonna be on their way to come say hello to you. All right, you got it.
Got a quick precept to back you up.
Yep.
This is a book of Isaiah chapter 34, starting from verse 1. It says, "Come near, ye nations, to hear and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it." Right? So that's why the prophets are out here, to give you that warning. Right? And going back to Isaiah 13, the burden of Babylon, right? So we're reading about it. It says, "For the indignation," right, meaning righteous anger of the Lord Yahweh, is upon all nations. All right, and Babylon is the land, the one and only land that you have all nations that are here. Everyone on this earth, there's somebody on this earth, or there are people in Babylon that go back to all 18 nations, right, including the nation of Israel, right? The 12 tribes, we're all here. Okay, we're all here. All these nations: Esau, Ham, Moab, Ammon, Jack, all the nations, they're all here in America right now. All right. So it says what? It says, and is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies, right? Going to the Third World War that's going to happen, right, in the valley of Jehoshaphat. Okay.
Mhm.
The Lord, so scripture says, there will the Lord plead with all flesh, right? So that's going into that. It says, he hath utterly destroyed them, he hath delivered them to the slaughter. It says, their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. Right? So the dead bodies are not going to be buried, man. All right. When it says the slain shall be cast out, in other words, they're not going to be buried. You're going to have a whole bunch of dead bodies just laying out in the streets, and that's what's going to cause the whole land to stink. Okay. It says, verse 4, it says, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down. Right. Revelation, the 7th chapter, going into that war in heaven. Or is it 12 and 7? Going to that war in heaven. Right.
Yep.
It says, and their hosts shall fall down. 2nd Ezra 13. Right. Though they were afraid, yet bears fight. Right. It says, as the leaf falleth off from a vine. Right. You know, when you look at and that's crazy. When there was an actual thing that happened, I believe, in Alaska, where there was one of those fighter jets that fell from the sky. It was kind of flowing like, it was like rolling like this, and then it hit the ground and it exploded, right? And it's been like, I think it was the first of 3 strings of so-called plane crashes. You know, yeah, we'll leave it at that, right? But it was spiraling all the way, and then it fell. So that's more of an example of that leaf that falls from a vine. When a leaf falls during the time of the fall, it doesn't just fall straight flat to the ground. It kind of spirals in the air all the way until it touches the ground. So that's an example of what the vision here is talking about. It says, and as a falling fig from the fig tree, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. Okay, and Idumea is going into who? The Edomites, starting with the Gays. All right. It says, the sword of the Lord Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord Yahweh hath a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Okay, and that's what all talking about America, Babylon the Great. Okay, so what Isaiah is seeing, and he's recording in the book of Revelation, in the book of Isaiah, the 13th chapter, is synonymous with what we're seeing here in 34th chapter. Okay, and many different precepts that we can bring out. You know, we'll be sitting here all day going into the judgment of America, Babylon the Great. All right, but you got it, bro.
That's right. That's right. Beautiful precept, man. You know, the Lord gets creative with it. You know, a lot of Isaiah's writings are, you know, somewhat in a poetic slash, you know, dark saying sense, you know, because Isaiah was he was up there like that. All right. Really all the prophets were up there like that, but you know, you get the point. Got it. And that's why with books like Isaiah and so on, you wanna make sure you have a good understanding of the times, the customs of the times. Times change, right? And even from Old Testament to New Testament to even intertestamental period, times changed. Things got more advanced. The way they did things, you know, changed and upgraded. So when you deal with books like Isaiah, you got to have a good understanding of the kind of things that were done at that time, because just as we do today, when we speak, we give examples that are pertaining to our time, right? When we give a comparison, we give examples pertaining to our time. So when he mentioned certain things to describe how, for example, the Lord was going to do something, right? Or to describe, you know, the details of some prophecy that was going to happen, he used examples of the kind of things that were happening during that time. So for you to better understand what he said, you know, to him, it might have been just like a normal sentence. But to you, you got to do research to find out, wait, why is he mentioning this? The fuller's soap. What is the fuller's soap? What does that do? What does it mean? So to have a better understanding of those writings, you also have to gain an understanding of that time. And that's what a lot of these historians do. When in order for these archaeologists, right, and historians to really come and give you when you read on Wikipedia, you know, you read and it sounds as though the information was literally written in English, like a narration of, like, say, the Roman era, right? What happened? No, some of this information they have going back to Egypt and so on are on hieroglyphs or sarcophagi, right? Multiple sarcophagus, and they have to read these things and they have to gather enough information to form a picture to give you an event of what would have been going on around this time based on what was written over here. Okay, and we got to do the same thing in order to get a good solid understanding of the scriptures, you know, and what was being said, what was being written, so you can understand better the power behind why is he saying this and comparing it to that and so on and so forth. You got it.
Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 11. And I will punish the world for their evil.
Yep.
And the wicked for their iniquity.
Mhm.
And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease.
How's the arrogancy of the proud going to cease? When they get humbled. And how are they going to get humbled? By pain and suffering. Okay? Look, pain is the number one humbler. Okay? Look at anybody when they get sick. Look at them. Compared to how they are normally. You'll notice, like, yo, person calm down. They got all quiet. Look at Antiochus Epiphanes when he was in pain. Now, what's very interesting is when the pain first started, he was still talking his smack. You know? He was talking his shit. You know, and they keep on going, move faster, move fast. But then when it got to the point where it was too much, that's when he humbled down. But all the Lord had to do was just turn up the knob a little bit. The Lord knew in the beginning he was going to start talking his BS. So he said, it's all right, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, you know, count it. So that's what the Lord did. And eventually he gave in. So pain is the number one humbler. If you want somebody that's arrogant, just add a little bit of pain to the equation. You know, they'll calm down quick.
And will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible.
Yep, and that's once again another way of saying the same thing. When you're haughty, it goes into being proud, all right, or being arrogant. Okay, how's the Lord gonna lay that low? In other words, bring it down through humility, and that's gonna be by way of destruction. Go ahead.
Verse 12, I will make a man more precious than fine gold.
See, there's nothing more humbling than a raw realization that you are way in over your head or you are out of your league. There's nothing more humbling than that. Even the most proud individual, let them go up against something and just get that pure realization. Like, damn, I saw a video of these two guys. They were in the gym, and one of them comes up. So I think he was doing shoulder press. This guy comes up. Usually you have a spotter who would get the weight and maybe put it on your leg for you, so you can then pick it up and go ahead. Dude comes in there and picks up 100-pound with one hand. He just grabs the joint with two fingers, grabs the 100-pound dumbbell by the head, grabs it with one hand, and just hands it to the guy. I'm looking at this shot. I said, look, see, that's why we go to separate gyms. We don't go to the same kind of gym as these guys. They go to the gym where the lowest weight is 100 pounds and up. Places like that, we stay out of those places. But the point is, when you see that, you like, all right, so clearly your comparison, that's why they have weight classes. You know what I mean? So seeing something like that, that's just an example. But when you see something, you're like, yo, this is not what you signed up for. That humbles you. It humbles you quick. You may be a big fish in a little pond and they throw your ass in the ocean and you come face to face with a shark. You all right? You know what I'm saying? You start looking the other way and shit, get cross-eyed, So that's what the Lord is going to do. And that's what he's going to do to Esau. See, when Esau right now hasn't seen the arsenal of the Lord. So he's like, yeah, we got it all. Like, look, we got artificial intelligence. We working with demons. We merging this over here. No human has ever done this before, but you're not going against a human. Okay? You're going against the one who's making you do this. So when they see the chariots and they see what Yahushua is going to do, they're going to realize they're in over their heads. Got it.
Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir.
And that's an Israelite man, but more specifically, an Israelite man who is of the elect. And by being more precious than fine gold, it means that your value, is going to go up. Your rarity is going to go up. Your value is going to go up. Because the thing is, there's a fixed amount of men of the Lord. That number doesn't go up. Okay? It doesn't go up. So when that's what makes you more valuable. When there's only a fixed amount of something, the value of it goes up and up and up and up and up. And in that time, the men of the Lord are going to be the source of protection, of resources, of everything, because the Lord is going to be with them. Okay? Go ahead.
Hey, it's kind of like how Thanos said, the world is filled with finite resources, right? So the elect men of the Lord, the 144,000, are the finite resources in the earth. Really, like we are literally the driving force of the earth. That's why, as we were taken down, the whole earth vibration also went down. And once the Lord lifts us back up, the whole earth is going to be rejuvenated and renewed. Going to the word kainos in the Greek. Right, a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. The 144,000 are going to they're going to be exuberant. They're going to exhibit the spirit of righteousness to the point where it's going to be a vibration throughout the whole nation of Israel, because our offspring is going to come out righteous, right? And then that vibration that we carry is going to feed off into the rest of the other nations. It happens now. You got all these other nations trying to be like Jake. Jake has that spirit of influence upon the earth. Right? Everybody looks at how Jake maneuvers here in America, right? You got Jake out in western parts of Africa, and they imitate what Jake does over here. You got people in different parts of the world that imitate the things that Jake do, whether it's rap, whether it's sports, whether it's a culture, right? Whatever it is, they always want to be like Jake, And being that Jake is at the bottom, the whole earth's vibration is also at the bottom. But once we get risen back up, the whole earth is going to change. The whole vibration is going to change. Pertain to Proverbs 29 and 2, right? When the righteous beareth rule, the people are going to rejoice. When we're in authority, I should say, right? The whole earth will rejoice. The animals, the trees, life itself will be back to actual life again. Instead of being in a state of survival and always in fear or war or whatever the case may be, right? Jake got cursed, the earth got cursed. But once the curse is lifted up, the whole earth is going to get vibrant again. You know, life is going to spring back into the earth again, man. And that's a beautiful thing. But you got it, bro.
Right. That's right. Go ahead.
Hey, Shalom,
Isaiah chapter
Shalom.
13.
Y'all can hear me?
Okay. How you doing?
This is 1 Peter 4:17. For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of God. And if it first begins at us, which is dealing with the elect, what if it first begins at us, which the scripture says we must all appear before the judgment scene of Hamashiach, right? So we are going to be judged for what we do. What shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of the Most High? You see? And it's going to be a horrible end. And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? Yeah, so you're going to barely make it. And the ungodly, they're not going to make it. Keep it.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And that's why we hope to be a part of that godly. You know, look, if you make it with scrapes, you still made it. You know what I'm saying? Scrapes, they'll heal. But you not making it, you ain't coming back. I mean, like, how you heal that? I mean, I guess with fire, but not the kind we trying to feel. You got it.
Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 13. Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place.
Yeah. And that's a poetic way of saying the earth is gonna shake. All right. That's another way of saying the earth is gonna shake. Okay, to remove out of her place. And why is it gonna shake? You're gonna have earthquakes. You're gonna have the force of the missiles hitting different parts. You know. Go ahead.
Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place
Uh-huh.
in the wrath of the Lord of hosts,
Mhm.
and in the day of his fierce anger.
Mhm.
And it shall be as the chase roe,
Mhm.
and as a sheep that no man taketh up.
Yeah, as a chase roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. Because when that time happens, right? What's an example of a chase roe? You ever watch Animal Planet? You see like those deer and those gazelles, and they're eating and they look up. Let them hear the sound of even a twig break and see how fast they move. You know, and the second one sets off, the whole crew sets off, and they are fast. Okay, they are fast and they got hops. FYI, you know, when you watch it on Animal Planet, it looks like he's just like a little spring. Man, look at it. Look at the a deer that jumps in the wilderness versus the deer that jumps within like within the zoo, or but like within, like, say a deer escapes and it comes into like a city. You'll see just how high they actually jump. You know, they could freaking jump across the whole street, a 2-lane street, jump from one end and land on the complete other end. You know, but that's what you're gonna be seeing. You know, there's a clip of a shootout. I think it was in Chicago or somewhere, and they were like at a gathering or a get together, and all you hear is some shots got let off, and dudes were scrambling, leaving their girls, leaving their friends, jumping over trash cans. You know what I mean? Doing hurdles and all that shit quick. You know, it looked like watching ants from a bird's eye view. And you know, you do like a little step, and the ants just start scattering. That's how Jake was running all around, and that's how it's going to be when the missiles hit. People are going to be scrambling, trying to go every which way, not knowing what the solution is.
Verse 14. And it shall be as the chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up.
Hmm?
That they shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land.
Yeah, and that's a natural reaction. When something happens, people draw naturally to their own kind. They gravitate towards their own people. And that's where you have the race wars and so on and so forth, because everybody goes with their kind. Okay? Go ahead.
Every one that is found shall be thrust through,
Mhm.
and every one that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword.
Yeah, because judgment is going to be going out. And if you get caught in that judgment, you get caught lacking, you're going to be cooked. And if you decide that you don't want to separate from the wicked, you want to go along to get along with them, you're going to be caught with them. All right, go ahead.
Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes.
Mhm.
Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished.
That's what Isaiah saw. That's literal. You're gonna be seeing that happening, man. You know, your children losing their lives right before you, men losing their wives, losing themselves, losing their lives. There's gonna be horrific things to experience. But at that point, there's gonna be nothing you can do about it. Go ahead.
Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them.
And the Medes in Isaiah 13 is referring to the Russians. All right, not the ancient Medes of I forgot the modern day nationality of them. But go ahead.
I got a quick precept
Yes, sir.
to back up the previous verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
This is a book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, and start off at verse 17. It says, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor," right? So a neighbor could be, the female next door, right? Or it could be another man in his family next door, right? Regardless, he's your neighbor, or they are your neighbor, right? It says, "But shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods." So you were going into how they're going to take they take your wife and your life, right?
Yep.
It says, "Spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation." So we talked about earlier about how these drug cartels, these so-called gang members and so on and so forth, gang members, right? They all going to be coming out here flocking, and you best believe that these elites going to be paying a lot of these cartels to do their biddings during the dark time. You
Yep.
know, be like, "Hey, listen, we hired you. Get as many as you can," because Trump is saying that, hey, no more, abortion is going to be illegal in certain states, and so on and so forth. So they're going to have to find a way to get their products. People will be products. Where the product at? You got mad people in the back, kidnapping people and shit. So a lot of you women, that's when you're going to really look for a man of the Lord to give you that guidance and to keep you in the best case scenario as to live, really. Because you're not going to be able to stand next to Tyrone, because Tyrone is already a target because he a fool. He in the world acting a fool. So the Lord got the cartels on his ass. So now Tyrone running to you, Sharkeisha, he looking to you like, yo, let me hide in your closet. These niggas is after me. All that tough talk. Now these niggas is after me, huh? Okay, so now you go to Sharkeisha. Sharkeisha is like, yo, I don't want them to come after me too. So you're gonna have to go down the street, But only a man of the Lord is gonna have that security, all right, of your life, really. Okay, because not only do we understand what's going on, but we have the Spirit of the Lord with us to be able to do something about it. It's whether angels gonna be protecting us, right? Or whether we're gonna have spiritual power to do certain things, we're gonna have that power and protection compared to the rest of the world. So yeah, man, they're gonna be coming in ravishing wives and children and women. It's gonna be it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy because of what? Because their pride and what? And for great tribulation, man. Okay, but you got it, bro.
That's right. That's right. Got it. Hey, we in a very good position. Lord willing, we're in a very blessed position. Because our job is like the Silver Surfer. We're not getting eaten with the worlds. We just preparing it. And that's it. We're good. Got it.
Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver.
Yeah, the Lord said He's going to stir them up. Okay, and that's going to be by way of world events that are going to stir them up. And as it says, when it says they're not going to regard silver, meaning you can't pay them off and you can't create any treaties or agreements with them. Okay, go ahead.
And as for gold, they shall not delight in it.
Yep.
Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces.
And those are going into their missiles. Okay, so the young men here being, because typically in your military you would have the young men. The young men really being like those that are of age to be able to like bring the strength of their youth. Okay, they're gonna be getting cooked in the Middle East. They're gonna be getting cooked in the homeland. Go ahead.
And they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb,
which are the children, because when Putin, for example, presses that button, and then the other nations press that button, the metaphorical button, which is also literal, and the missiles fly, they're not gonna say we've developed missiles that only burn adults and then they neglect children. Or we're not gonna shoot missiles because we know y'all got children over there, so we're not gonna do that. That's not what's gonna be on their mind when it's wartime. Okay? Go ahead.
Their eyes shall not spare children.
Yep.
And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
Because how did the Most High overthrow Sodom and Gomorrah? With fire and with brimstone. And the modern day fire and brimstone is going to be those new nukes. And that's how the Most High is going to overthrow this place. This place that looked like it could never go down. The golden age, the kingdom of kingdoms. And now look at it. A heap of ruins. Go ahead. That's it.
It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation.
Yeah, so this place is going to be isolated as a place. You're not going to come and rebuild over here and none of that stuff. Okay? Go ahead.
Neither shall the shepherds make their fold here.
And the fold is a like a pen where you would keep your flock. Okay? And what it's saying is this land it's emphasizing how this land is not going to be inhabitable. Okay? Shepherds are not going to bring their flocks over here. Why is Isaiah saying that? Because that was the custom of the time back then. You would find a suitable place, maybe somewhere that's near good pasture, and then you would build a fold or whatever, and then you would keep your sheep over there so you could take them out to graze easily and you could bring them back safely. Okay? So what he's saying here is this place is going to be that uninhabitable. Go ahead.
But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there,
Uh-huh. Go on.
and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures,
Go on.
and owls shall dwell there,
Mhm.
and satyrs shall dance there.
Yeah. And I believe when you go into that word, it goes into like evil spirits, like demons and stuff. You're going to have these certain of these creatures that are going to be dwelling over here along with those basically the unwanteds of society. Yeah, I think I just saw a chariot. But it disappeared just now. You got it. I was trying to confirm before I say anything, but yeah.
Verse 22. Yeah, and the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses,
Uh-huh.
and dragons in their places.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, palaces, excuse me. And her time is near to come.
The time, whose time? The time of Babylon the Great. Meaning your time is almost up. The time where this burden is going to come upon you is almost here. Go ahead.
And her days shall not be prolonged.
So her days are the set amount of time the Lord has. See, the Lord actually has a set time for every kingdom. Okay? We just don't know it. But if the Lord said America has 400 days, he's not going to prolong that. Meaning on the day 400, America's destroyed. It's done. It doesn't go past, it's not a second later, none of that. That's why he says her days are not going to be prolonged. If the Lord gave you 80 years to live, you're not going to live till 81. But that was it. All right. And that was pretty much that close the storybook, right? That was a burden concerning Babylon the Great, aka America. That's what's going to happen to this place, and that's how this place is going to end. All right. So we're going to end it here. Brother's got anything? All right. Brother's got any points you wanted to add? Perfect. Cool. So with that, we're going to end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect and pleasing unto Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. In closing, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham B'chak Wadash. And until next time, Shalom.
Shalom to the elect. Wa Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai Barakatham. Shalom, bros.
Shalom.